Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through!
Freaking frangipanis, it's time for Fumble Through.
Fumble Through!
A podcast that knows with the coming of spring, it's time to bury your money in the backyard to make the soil rich.
Who's coming what?
Yeah.
They'll just be putting microplastics in the yard.
It would, with your money.
Yeah, well, yeah. Virginia Woolf once said, I enjoy the spring more than autumn now. One does, I think, as one gets older. And in that vein, let me ask you guys this. What is your favourite season? And has it changed over the years? And what makes it so good?
I'm a little... Why are we quoting Virginia Woolf?
Well, because who's afraid of Virginia Woolf, Brett?
Okay.
So what is your favourite season of the year? There's 4 of them. It's
Does
not
it
a
have
hard
to be in this
question.
country?
No, it doesn't have to be in this country.
Okay, I'll
That's
go first.
kind
I'll go
of what makes it
spring
good.
in the UK.
Why?
Spring in the UK because it's usually you'll have a clear sky. So it's one of the seasons within the UK that you can almost guarantee that you're not going to have nothing but grey clouds all the time. So you get the beautiful crisp mornings, clear blue sky. It's still cold enough to get like a morning frost on the grass, fresh, just fresh. It is just a feeling of freshness.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. We
Is
get
it-
close to that here in the winter, actually, on those mornings when you wake up and it's like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
But it's still lovely and sunny and clear sky.
Yep.
But not cold enough to get that nice.
And is that just
Frost.
because it's also the juxtaposition of coming out of like, you know,
The winter.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you'll get the moments where you can walk on the grass and it crunches because of the frozen dew
Wow.
in the morning. Beautiful.
See, I've spent some time in the UK, not as much as you, Luke, and I liked more that Wimbledon period of time. Like, that's more summer, right? Wimbledon?
Yep.
Only because everyone's out, one ray of sunshine. And
Rain or shine,
Right.
everyone's out.
But there's nothing like, pub life in London is amazing. And in winter, it's brilliant. But when they open up those beer gardens and courtyards and you're sitting out there with a jug of Pimm's and sitting in the sun, it's so
Pint of cider.
beautiful.
Yeah.
On the river, people rowing down the river in their boats. It's so lovely. So I think for me, I would push it a little later than that crispness because I think there's a more vivaciousness that comes to the culture as the sun comes out. People
For
kind
sure.
of lose their hibernation.
Yep. People, 18 degrees hits and everyone's down at the beach in a bikini and
Oh, any bit of grass and someone's sunbaking on it.
that's right. Down on the pebble beaches.
Yeah.
Pebble Beach, far away in time.
Yeah, you're right. That's
And
nice.
if it gets too hot, then it's shit. Because there's nowhere is set up for that crap.
No, there's no such thing as aircon in the UK.
That's funny. What about you, Lindsay?
I think that's a bit of a harder question for Australia, especially Queensland. Like, I'm going to say spring mainly because, for one simple reason of jacarandas. I fucking love jacaranda trees.
Oh.
Nice. Lovely
And
colour, lovely smell.
yeah, and when they bloom, it's pretty awesome. Christmas is coming, all that kind of stuff. But like, I feel like we're pretty blessed in Queensland where, I'm one that doesn't excuse me.
That was the most Australian thing I've ever heard you say. It just rolled off the tongue.
It wasn't even going to be that. I changed what I was going to say halfway through.
Were you kicking tires on a ute releasing that?
It comes out.
But like, I feel like every season has a bit of its own thing. Like, it's pretty much fairly similar. Yes, summer can be hot, but I don't have an issue with the heat.
We've grown up in it, I suppose.
Yeah.
You're climatized.
So like, I don't have a massive issue with the heat. Winter's still nice and sunny here, and if you're out in the sun, it's still warm. So I feel like they're pretty normal, but I'd say spring just full of jacarandas.
Yeah. I'm an autumn guy. I do like my autumn. I like winter though more. The end of autumn, beginning of winter is my favourite time.
So are you an autumn guy or are you winter guy?
Let me think. I think I might be a winter person.
A winter guy, oh, right.
Yeah, I think I might be a winter person.
Or do you like autumn because winter's coming?
Yes. Yes. I don't know who winter is, but good on them.
Yeah. It's the
It's there.
anticipation
It's the
builds.
anticipation. I like autumn because the leaves turn brown. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Not here, they
In
don't.
summer,
They
they
kinda
turn brown
do.
because they're burnt
right.
to fuck.
No, leaves turn brown here.
Evergreens
We
everywhere.
lived in a house with a pecan nut tree that was
one
deciduous.
tree drops some fucking leaves once.
There are deciduous trees
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Australia,
All right.
but
Oh, la-di-da, deciduous.
But I like the times of year where there's stuff going on. Like I can't stand summer. I hate summer.
Yeah, well, you don't like the beach. You don't like
it's
sand.
Still, there's nothing you can do. It's oppressive and it really gets my goat. But I like I'm a big fan of blustery, windy movement, energy in nature kind of stuff.
And in voice.
So yeah, I like a nice rainy day. I enjoy a good storm.
No, I moved halfway around the world to get away from that crap. I can
there.
leave that. Thank you.
I could see why it would be like cold and rain and constant would probably be pretty fucked. But here it's like, you get a
Yeah.
Oh, it's proper
kinda-
storms here. Something to
Yeah.
behold.
Yeah.
They really are.
a big storm. But I think in the winter I like it because it's generally a little windier. There's a little more action in the world, and even when there's not, there's an energy in the air that I really like.
You don't mind a cold evening around a fireplace?
Ooh,
or
I
that
love
kind
it.
of, yeah.
Love that. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
To be fair, yes.
I love it,
Yeah.
and I the colder, the clearer, the better.
Yeah.
For me, like the going camping in negative degrees is great. Put rain on top of that, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had that experience and it was
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Has it changed
Is that
since you
because
were a kid?
is
though?
that because you like the feel of the what is it about that
Energy. There's an energiness to
right.
me. Like I feel like there is a real power
Yep.
in nature with that. Like even standing outside on a crisp, cool night looking at the stars,
Yeah.
I prefer that than standing out on the same. It could be the same visibility of stars during summer, and I wouldn't like it as much because I feel like everything's just so hot and it
Yeah.
radiates heat.
There's a point in the
And
summer
it's-
here where you're like, I
it's
can't take
too
any more
much.
layers off.
Yeah.
The aircon's cranked up. Like,
Yeah.
It's just oppressive.
Sucks the
too
energy
much.
out of you,
I
right?
mean, like,
yeah.
you go any further north than where we are currently in Queensland, it just gets worse
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. Like,
Oh yeah, you
Townsville,
lived.
when we were looking to move back, that was only the condition I had, is I'm not living in Northern Territory or North Queensland because it's just
humid as well.
well. I don't know what I said no to Northern Territory, but I don't know. Does it get humid up there as well?
Mhm.
Yeah, stuff that. Yeah,
Mhm.
the winter of 27 degrees when we got married, and then we flew down and honeymooned in Melbourne, and it dropped 20 degrees in that distance.
Yeah.
Was amazing because we got actually Melbourne was that particular time when we were there in the July was like a UK spring,
Yeah.
like crisp, clear. It was
It's very similar.
fantastic.
Yeah.
A little bit of rain in that as well because obviously it's Melbourne. But yeah, just to be able to buy coats and stuff, and I was just because I was craving for that kind of weather at that point after 3 months of just nothing but
Has
grill pan.
has your preference changed since you were a kid?
I think I would have probably been a bit more summer when I was a kid because I guess I linked that to school holidays as well.
Okay.
And just the fun and activities that you do when you're not at school and the weather's okay and you're out and about and just chilling with your mates and stuff.
Yep.
I would say something similar. I think as a kid you don't feel as hot, maybe, or you don't. It's not
It
as.
just doesn't bother you. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't. Well, because you just go outside and douse yourself with a hose and fuck
Yeah.
the consequences.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter if I'm wet all day and stink or whatever because I've got nothing else to do or whatever. I think for me that is probably when I was an autumn kid.
Yeah.
That's probably when I like summer because of the holiday aspect, but I think if I go back to actual temperature and the world around me, that's when I would have loved autumn. And it's as an adult, I've moved into winter because I'm fat and I like wearing tracksuits and leisure wear. And winter allows me to cover up my layers.
I think that's like Jimmy and I would love going to
Is
a
that why
very
you don't like getting in the pool in the summer because you show your blowhole?
Yeah, that's right.
Oof.
I got to shave my back.
Jimmy and I love going to cold places because partly because we do like a fireplace and the kind of the feel of that and the crispness of a place. We love a glass of wine on a fireplace in a cold area. But also, and particularly Dimity, she loves the ability to shop with more accessories. There's a jacket, there's a beanie, there's a whole heap, but there's a whole heap of things that go with. And I get that. I really do understand that. Where, here in summer, it's a singlet and underwear. And if you got the singlets too much sometimes.
Yeah, we've seen you, Brett.
Yeah. So I've got a list going on because it's not one season.
34,
yeah. No, my first seasoning is chili. I really love season, not seasoning. Okay. What I'm thinking about is moments in times in the season that I'm remembering and why I loved it. There was a moment when we were in the UK and we went to the Giant's Causeway, and it was the middle of winter on the shore of kind of the northernmost part of Ireland, and this beautiful kind of rock kind of breakout into the ocean, and we were being swept by this brutally cold wind with water droplets from the ocean, and it was crisp as fuck and cold.
That strikes me like a cold. Is it Yellow? The video where he's on the beach and it's cold.
Yeah, maybe.
Or the James Blunt one where he jumps off into the ship.
I keep thinking about Hagrid's Island from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But it was so like the life in I think that's where I'm resonating with you, Justin. There was this energy that came off of that breeze, standing in that place, in a place that obviously had seen so much. And I think there was a moment there that I went, I could be here. I could be in this space, in this kind of climate for a long time. And I feel like it was filling me up with energy rather than draining me up, sucking me up, removing my energy. And that's why I struggle with summer here, because it just, there's no recourse for it. And I'm just so depleted. But I do, when I travel, I will chuck the air conditioning on at like 18 degrees and then jump under that doona because I love that crisp and warm kind of juxtaposition.
Is that, though, more a memory that is triggering something that you're linking to the season rather than a love for the season itself?
Well, I'm not sure how to separate the two. Because the love of something is because like, of the experience I had in it. Because,
I've been to like some of the big cliffs in Galway and like the cliffs of Moa and Moa. Anyway, I'm trying to remember how they say it. But like that breeze is always going to be crisp and cold coming off the ocean. And it's always going to be windy. So I don't know if that, like I'm not trying to poo-poo your memory or anything, but to me that's the area.
It's geography, not season.
Yeah.
Memory ruined.
Right. Cool.
Sorry.
I don't think I would have liked that in summer, I think is what I'm saying. I wouldn't have liked that place in the summertime. It wouldn't have had the same feel. It wouldn't have been slate grey skies. It would have been a bit brighter and a bit crisper, and I don't know that it would have had the same impact.
Was it a big sky? Like, are we talking like just a
massive
big sky?
On rolling hills it was rocks and then rolling. We were doing cartwheels all over the hills and really enjoying. Like, it was clear, cold, windy, all the things. We had parkas on with our hoods up, done up around our heads because it was so, it was cartwheels on the grass.
Can you show us one right now? That'd be a great TikTok.
Had you been eating mushrooms?
No. Well, possibly. I do eat. I do like
mushrooms. To eat. Did you pick any wild mushrooms on that day?
No. And then, I love a spring morning. I do love a spring morning, and I love thunderstorm season in Queensland. We were out today, and there was a storm in the afternoon, and I was lollipopping when the storm broke.
Just as school went out today.
But it was like 2 minutes, but it was beautiful and it refreshed everything and everything crisp.
That is
smell came out.
Certainly here, you really feel like you get thunderstorms and humidity in the UK, but one of the things I've noticed here in the summer is the oppressive humidity, and the thunderstorm comes in and just clears it. And it is such
makes it 10 times worse afterwards.
and then it's such a shift, like very tangible shift after that happens. happens.
That's 20 minutes after a thunderstorm, or even being in it. Like, I loved my childhood memory is running around in those storms and being able to play in the middle of a really hot day while it's raining, but the rain is as warm as a bath.
The lightning's going. I used to call that the quickening.
Yeah.
I have to say, my first experience of a proper thunderstorm here in this country was terrifying.
I couldn't imagine.
It was the first couple of weeks we'd arrived. We were in the Gold Coast because we were staying with friends at the time. And I remember being out with at least, it was only like one in the pushchair and Sarah, and we're looking out across the horizon. And I'm like, wow, look at those clouds. That looks like a pretty savage storm. Walking along a bit more, I looked up and it's like, oh, that's getting here pretty quick. And like, we start rushing to get back to the apartment, but we got caught up in it. It landed on us and it was raining so hard I couldn't see a meter in front of me. The pram filled up. Elise is sat in a puddle in this pram basically. And there is lightning and thunder going off all around. I just left Sarah. I ran. I was like, you look after yourself. I'm going to get the kid into safety. Like, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Just how quickly that shifted from like, oh, this is beautiful to I'm going to die.
But imagine then being in that, knowing it's coming, knowing what that is, having lived through that, and then we're going out and playing in the gutters when it's like this massive torrent of water's coming down the street on the bottom of a hill, flying water everywhere, putting boats in, leaf boats in the gutter, letting them flow.
Bolts of lightning hitting around.
Or even just sitting like,
I still do that with my kids.
Yeah, if you were in your apartment sitting out looking at that across the ocean, that kind of storm break.
Yeah, in the safety.
That's right.
Fine.
It's beautiful. That kind of viciousness is got such a beauty about it.
Don't you ever jump in the pool?
Don't have a pool.
Oh, I jump in my pool when the lightning.
No, never.
When it rains, I love
Never.
just floating on my back in the rain in the pool. It's quite amazing because you hear the raindrops hit the water and stuff, and you watch the clouds, and then it gets scary and you leave.
Yeah, I remember our first house here that we lived in that we rented was one of those post Second World War sheds, and
all metal.
Metal roofs.
It's a lightning rod.
Absolutely, and single pane glass. Yeah. So when it thunders, the whole house vibrates. You're like, it's just going to fall down.
Yeah.
We had a similar experience of like your first thunderstorm when we went to Hawaii and there was like a cyclone hit, and we were like just having dinner in a restaurant and you couldn't hear anything. And then we got up and leave, and suddenly like it's like knee deep water outside the restaurant. We had to walk home, and that was pretty cool. Like,
Crikey.
It had stopped by then, but like the water from
flash flood kind of thing.
Yeah. And we just like walked home in knee deep water.
Wow.
Love that.
We were really busting for dicey questions when we talk about weather.
Oh, this isn't the dicey question.
It is now. Make sure you send us dicey questions on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can now follow us on YouTube, thanks to our new friends at Headliner who have been helping us out with...
Those guys at Headliner were really good.
Yeah, their support was fantastic. They've been basically helping me transcribe our podcast into little audiogram, so we've got videos for them and upload them automatically to YouTube. So that's cool.
And then I'm going to take those where they have word transcriptions and try and make that useful for people who don't want to listen to us but want to read what's going on. So we might be able to then also go, we can search what we said and look up the thing that we need to look up, because there'll be a fully searchable functionality.
An audio version I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd like people to quote me in text.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm worried that people like audio, it takes a bit of time. You have to fast forward. They might miss the bit.
You'll be fine. Just don't mention the war. Time for beer, guys. Let's go.
No, we got beer.
Yeah, we got beer.
So remember that time Frank brought in a white stout, right?
Yep.
I was at the brewery, the Bottle-O.
You've been on already.
And I was thinking about Flint and his inclusion in the party. And then I came across this little fella, and I thought of him. This is a Zitho Brewing, same brewery that did the white stout.
Love the colour of the
This
can.
is their hemp IPA.
Oh, just a modest 6%.
It's an IPA. 1.8 standard drinks in the can.
3, 2, 1.
Zitho Brewing was inspired by the terms Is that fun? We've done that bit before.
Yep.
This is a meld of hops and hemp wrapped up in a contemporary dank resinous IPA.
Dank.
Yep.
It is dank.
With tropical overtones. Thank you very much.
This
Thank you
smells
very
good already.
much. That's pretty funny.
I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about this one.
So,
Look at the color on that.
Yeah, look at that.
you know, as I do every now and then, I'm kind of off the booze again, boys.
Oh, whatever.
So I'm not going to drink a whole can, but
All right.
instead of last time, if anyone has a small portion
Yeah.
that they would like to donate me, I will swap you a full can.
Luke's
how
already
much
drunk a
is-
can, apparently.
what the shit? That was, yeah.
I would have gone sober with you if you'd let me know, but oh well.
So, Justin, you've gone sober. What people might not know is we didn't record last week. We've had a week off because I had some of the worst food poisoning I've had in my lifetime. I started throwing up at 10 p.m. one night and didn't stop throwing up every hour on the hour for 24 hours. That's more than 10 millimeters of head. I apologize, but there's more in the can for you. And even after all of that, I managed a beer on the weekend, and this is my second alcoholic beverage.
Oh, yeah. And it's good.
Is it? Cheers, my...
So part of my decision
Cheers,
is that
darlings.
we went away for the weekend and we played games all weekend, as we alluded. In the past, a couple of weeks ago was Brett's birthday, and for that we went away. And that weekend has made me want to not drink anymore. A life of excess was lived.
Yes, I was in the same boat, which is why if you had told me, I wouldn't have done.
No, well,
I thought I was sacrificing a drink for the group.
I knew it was coming. I knew I was going to take another booze break, but I didn't want to not be piss fit for that weekend, so I waited till afterwards.
I have seen this one in the bottle many times and not been brave enough to get it because the idea of hemp, I wasn't
right?
sure what that was about.
But this is what this is all about. This is
delicious.
the
Okay, so if I
exploration.
can describe this, it is very cloudy. Like
You've got a bad bit of like
can't
ours
see
is not
through
that.
it.
It's a bit smoky.
I think because mine's a bit lighter.
You
like,
might have the bottom of
smaller.
the can shit as well.
Yeah, but it's also very like it's got the hops bitterness to it, but it's not too much for me.
Not hot for
I
it.
don't like a super amount of hops, but I don't mind this. I couldn't see me drinking heaps of this though.
No?
This I get.
And there aren't many of the ones that we've had that I can't see myself drinking a lot of.
Yeah, right.
But again, this is not my. I'm a super crisp guy. I figured this out.
Yeah.
I like a good
Yeah.
super crisp. I like a good light.
This
beer.
has some dankness in it. They're right. They,
There's
you
a
know,
lot of
it's-
depth here.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's a
bitter.
solid.
bitter aftertaste.
Yeah, it's a solid beer with lots of complexity to it. I think, much like bong water.
Close your eyes and drink it for a second, and I just say close your eyes and have a sip.
No, you're going to say
No,
something's going
close
to
your
ruin it for me.
no,
I know
I'm
you're
not.
gonna
I'm
do.
not. Close your eyes and have a sip.
Boobies.
Tell me that does not have hints of a stout to it.
The thing is, when I
A
before
very
that's my nose,
cold
I got
stout.
a real smell of orange juice.
Did you?
Like it's very. Did you say citrusy or on the description?
Tropical.
Tropical.
Nah, just pure bud.
Yeah, I think Zitho. Well done. Well played.
Second.
It's nice.
That I've had. That's the third Zitho brewery drink. that I've
They
had
haven't
that's-
gone
that's
wrong,
nice.
have they?
Nah.
I
They
think
do. There's one that's in a yellow can, and I think it's like 4.6%. Very light.
Yeah.
And very citrusy as well. Tropical kind of.
We haven't had
feel
that
to it.
one.
No, I don't think we have.
I do feel like every now and then I listen back to our beer, and sometimes we just enjoy the beer without really describing it. So I think, have we described this one well enough for our listeners?
I
do you
was
think?
trying before, but you cut me off.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Tell us about your
Who cares?
your hiatus.
Oh,
Making
yeah.
it all about you as usual.
It's true. It's true. I'm like a vegetarian,
Like a vegetarian.
like a vegan. How do you know if someone's a vegan?
They
You'll
tell
know.
you,
They'll tell you.
yeah.
It's the same as CrossFit.
So true.
Yeah. So that's going to be my new thing.
And you know
I'm
someone
an
runs-
alcohol vegan.
Riding a peloton.
Yeah, that's all right. It's in a peloton. Thank you.
I don't know. I don't exercise.
There's a real, I've finished what little I was having. There's a real bitterness that still is sitting there.
I love it.
And the thickness.
As I've got older, my palate for this kind of thing is really.
Are you down with the
Matured.
thickness?
Get up. Come on, get down.
I think so too, Luke. I think as I've got older, my palate's in matured. I can enjoy a broader range of, like, when I was younger, a more complex beer was too hard to kind of make work.
Stella Artois, and that was it. And then
maybe a Corona for something fancy. Yeah.
I hate Stella. Sorry, I've always hated Stella
Have
Artois.
you?
Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, I never drank Stella.
Yeah, it makes you punchy. It's
that was like
very well known as the wife beater.
Everywhere in the UK, it was Stella
or
Foster's.
On tap. Yeah, well, Foster's Kronenberg 1664 was a big one. But I always stayed near the ciders.
What about Budweiser?
Budweiser you didn't see on tap very many places.
I like Budweiser.
Budweiser's all right. Yeah, I used to like, was it Michelob? That's another American beer that's very much like Budweiser. But yeah, like lighter beers. Like
what about Miller's?
Miller. Oh, Muller.
Miller. M-I-L-L.
Yeah. Again, not so much. It was mostly French and Belgian. Heineken was another one you see on tap often.
Grolsch.
Bottles usually.
The bottles of
beautiful.
Grolsch. That was
green.
great.
They were pretty cool. Yeah.
Thank you, Zitho. We appreciate you.
Now, are we doing a dicey question, or do we
Let's
just
do
move
it.
on?
No, we've been talking about weather for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, we can cut that.
Is it? Look, we've been talking for weather for 45 minutes. That just makes us old people. Just next week, we're going to talk about the traffic and a map and how we actually got here.
Are you saying this because last week I turned 50?
Well, last week, a few weeks ago. Was it? No, it was last week. It's in the future still for me. I get confused with this time warp stuff that's going on.
It's funny how you like to correct me, though, when I start to lay the future timeless down.
You might be 50, but I'm an idiot. So it makes sense.
And I'll only be 50 for a year.
That's right. I'll be moronic forever.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Yes,
choice.
last week I turned 50. Is that why you wanted to talk about the weather? Because I could also talk about my incontinence.
I also wanted to talk about planting your perennials.
You didn't want to talk about me getting a poo test in the mail?
Did you get one?
Yes.
Did you get the digital one as well?
A digital one?
Yeah.
You got to shit on your
The
iPhone.
ass. The digital one.
You shit on your iPhone.
Lindsay does that every week. Shits on iPhone.
I do.
Shits on iPhone. Brett shits on Fifth Ed. That's what happens. So over the last couple of weeks, guys, you have travelled to a place called Axelhome. We found a new companion in Flint. We have lost a dear companion in, what was his name? JR something.
The Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti. The Yeti. Yeah.
Not even listening, looking at
No, he's not. He doesn't care.
I'm looking up something.
He's writing JR's 40th memorial.
You have travelled to the foothills of the Sword Mountains and you have entered a place called Axelhome, which was a dwarven stronghold at some point in time. You have done this because you are seeking a refuge for the villagers of Fandolin so that they have somewhere safe to go. And they have suggested maybe if you can clear this stronghold out, they can move in for the time, hold up here in the time, and make sure that they are safe while somebody can go and get rid of the dragon, or maybe they just live like this forever. One question that is in my mind for all of this is the mayor going to move with them, or is he just going to stay in his house in the middle of the town? That's a question for the future. But what we do know is that you have travelled into Axelhome because you've descended through a chimney. You've come into the upper levels of this complex, or you've come into a room in the upper levels of this complex and recently branched out into a spider infestation that was equally matched and exactly read by the GM, who played it exactly as it should have been played and nothing differently.
By the book.
By the book and then some. But you have cleared out. So as of last time we played, you guys had essentially cleared out all the spiders, and you had actually started the little fireplaces that are under the burning pits of oil that are used to go down into the channels that funnel all the way down into the front area, into the entrance, that would boil any intruders with boiling oil. You don't know if the vats are filled or not because you haven't seen them. You've seen 3 giant giant cauldrons with lids on them, or vats with lids on them, but you've lit the fires underneath. But that fire was enough and big enough that it's burnt the majority of the webs out of this area, clearing a space for you guys to be able to move out. Now, I know that you were in a pretty bad situation? Like let's take a moment just to do a very quick health check.
I think we were fine.
I'm just over half. If that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, to see how people
just
are.
over half HP.
Like,
I don't think Meridius. We had a rest.
Yeah, I'm full apparently.
because we ended up having a rest after you pulled everyone in.
That's right.
And then another big rest overnight after.
Did we? After we killed the spiders?
Not after we killed the spiders. We had a rest before that, and because we were doing that jump out.
Yeah.
I
still
copped a bit. You copped some stuff. I don't think Meridius copped stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get any hits after that second one.
Well, good for you guys.
Frontline Nightcran is what we call them.
I'll say, yeah. Frontline feathers.
Man, do you want some healing, dude?
Yes, I think I probably will. Because all your healing's out of rounds, yeah?
No, man.
Is it not?
No, dude.
Oh. Are we still in range?
No.
Oh.
Let me just look. I mean, the best one is, but man, I can give you a few. How badly hurt are you, man?
I'm all right, actually. I'm all good.
Do you want a potion?
Yeah, let's have a bottle. Come on. Oh, hang on. Is that got any of that weird
man.
mushrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you already had one of them.
I need some to take the edge off of the being in the enclosed areas,
I
actually.
could just get, cure wounds if you want.
No, I'll take a mushroom potion.
Potion?
Yeah.
Okay, man.
I need to lighten my mood a little bit. I'm feeling a little tense, a little claustrophobic, a little penned in, a little.
I mean, you already had one of them last time, man. Two little mushrooms.
Just give me another one of the potions.
I'm just going to give you cure wounds, man.
Talk about mushrooms firing neurons in people. The new kind of studies they're doing about mushrooms that are firing neurons. I don't think it's worked for Flint.
6 points of healing. Please.
6 points.
Certainly has.
How much have the shrooms have given me?
Can't.
Those mushrooms certainly fire the synonym neurons in.
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Okay, good job, man.
That's fine.
Yeah. So you find yourselves in a quite large chamber that extends out over the gauntlet of the main entrance. You know how you guys came in sort of a worked tunnel? So you find yourself in what would have been the defense measures. There are arrow slits to the north allowing a view outside. You can also see that part of the room is lit by moonlight or sunlight during that time. The webs that are there are now gone, but you can still see where they've clumped in the corners of the room, and there are clumps of little spider eggs here and there as nests have been formed. Which is
burned,
which is a little bit. Some of them have popped, some of them have burnt. Maybe not all of them, but at this point in time, they're not super difficult for you to clear out on or anything. But you also see that there are these fireplaces with cauldrons that would have been filled with oil that you can pour through the narrow slits in the floor. But to the south, you can see there are some more arrow slits. You can also, as you walk into the center of this room, see that there are two sets of stairs, one to the east and one to the west, and there is a door that pairs almost identically to the door that you guys came out of. So the room where you came down the chimney, there's a door directly on the other side, like there's a mirror image, so it's very symmetrical, this room. So in the middle is the cauldron with the channels and the things that go down. There's two little extensions that would have looked over the entrance of the floor with arrow slits in it, and the oil would go into that entrance. To the south, there are 3 arrow slits, one in the middle, one to each end that you can look through. And then there are 2 sets of stairs that go down on the east and the west, and a door on the east that you haven't been through.
Dude, who's in charge? Which way are we going, man?
Let's go check the cauldrons, make sure that they're not full of stuff.
Spiders!
Have a look in the channels, make sure that there's no hot oil dripping on anyone coming. Secure the area, make sure that no one can light this up, and douse hot oil on our.
Well, you think even with the hot oil that the cauldrons themselves are on a pivoting kind of mechanism,
yeah.
so they'd have to get pushed over,
Yeah.
and whatever the contents of them falls into the channels,
Yes, but-
which
Yeah, but
would
we don't
flow
want to be
into
coming back with
into
the
the murder
villagers and
holes.
find somebody's taken up shop
Yeah,
and then
that's
they
right.
equip
That's
them
right.
up for them. Hey?
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
you go and do a quick look at the whatever oil in there was in there is no longer in there. Whatever may have happened here, the oil is gone.
Does it look like the inside of one of the baking trays in the oven?
Yeah,
that you
there's
leave in
like
there
the
too long?
slime
Yeah.
at the bottom, I guess, but there's not. It's certainly not filled with an oil.
You know what you
Right
could do?
on.
You could light this up with oil and then finally chop potatoes and put it inside. That would be good. And then you could just drain the oil through these holes and then the potato would be left.
Well, I hear spider is very much like prawn.
Really? Hmm.
Right.
Well, let's come back for that. But
Colour me intrigued.
there's two doors to be checked through. I say we go to the synonym of the one we've just had, the absolute mirror of the one we were just in.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out first and
Excellent.
then try the other doors.
Excellent.
But I would hope there's another room full of forges and opportunity.
Were you guys looking at me?
Come along, I think is
Okay.
what we're saying.
So you
And-
move to the east and you get to the door that moves in. Who's going first
Moradius.
through the door? Moradius
I
kicks.
thought I was the front line.
You are now.
I thought I was the front line.
Yeah. Moradius kicks in the door into a room that is the mirrored pair of the door that of the room that you know so well, with one stark difference. This room has been trashed. The cots in here are wrecked. The chairs are broken. All the other furnitures lie in shards and shatters
no.
all over the place. The same kind of shield motif that would have been on the fireplace is destroyed and bent on the floor. The fireplace itself is blackened, and there's a big scorch mark that goes above the fireplace, like something's gone out of control here. Again, as you kind of walk through this room and sort of poke around, kicking around to the room, you can notice that there's an air that's coming out of the chimney, much like
Yep.
the one that you came down. So maybe this funnel can reach the roof as well, but there is a door to the south that doesn't exist in the other room.
I think Moradius would like to make an insight check to see if he could understand what happened in this room, get a bit more detail about that.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a 12.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's come through this room and trashed it.
How do we know how long ago?
So no, it's hard to tell.
And
it
then-
looks like it's probably been a while. Actually, no, you would probably be able to tell because with all the spiders outside, there would have been the same level of dust and cobwebs that you would have found in the other room.
Yeah.
But it would have been over the top of. So it looks like this has
some
been
time ago.
Some time.
And a fight, or someone's come through and raided through
Trash.
here.
Somebody has come through and damaged
Just
this intent. Just literally
vandalism.
thrown chairs against walls,
Yeah, right.
crashed tables, jumped up and down, destroyed everything. And again, you can see did I call it a nook, a niche, what are we calling it?
Alcove?
An alcove?
Any of the
Any of those?
This episode's going to be called Synonym Episode.
I've been reading a thesaurus. You might say that's outrageous or preposterous.
You called it an alcove, and I said it was too small for an alcove, so it was a nuke.
So a
niche.
A nuke.
A nuke.
A nuke. You check all the nooks and crannies that are in here to find that they're empty as well. But there is a door to the south that you can explore if you wish to.
Let's do it.
Meredith will open that door. He might even check for traps first.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I check for traps?
Do you really want to though?
Yeah, I think I do. I don't know.
You don't find any traps.
Meredith,
Roll the 3.
Meredith will. There's no check for traps. It's just a perception check.
That's what I roll.
So Meredith is just going to check carefully as he goes out the door for whatever the fuck that number is. Oh, only a 10. And
yeah,
then
you don't find any traps.
open the door and step through.
Yep, you open the door into a room that was an adjoining chamber. At one point, the walls of this room were carved and hewn out of stone, work stone, but the back end of this room seems to have fallen to a literal collapse. You can see, though, that in the bottom corner, so in the southeast corner of this room, there is a tunnel that seems to have been worked into the stone. It is rough, it is small, it is tight, it is cramped. It's about 5 foot tall, it's about 2 foot wide, and it continues into the darkness of here, which is probably a good time for me to ask, who's carrying the torch? Because it is pitch black in this place.
Flint's carrying the torch.
Yeah.
For I have a torch.
Bird, dude, you look like you've grown. You're a young man, right?
I find that offensive.
I mean, I just feel like you've come of age in this journey.
In this journey?
Yes.
In the 2 days I've known you.
I came of age many moons ago.
Well, never mind then.
It seemed like you had something important to say there.
No,
Flint.
I've just got this spell that lets me do stuff if someone comes up. I've got this really cool spell, which I thought I was going to be brought into it on JR's grave,
Right.
called Ceremony,
Yeah.
which lets me do all this cool stuff,
Yeah.
but they have to meet certain requirements.
Yeah.
All of those coming of age.
Yeah. It's the same as I was trying to marry
Historically,
you
it was
guys
marriage.
How many more of these obscurely specific
He's not
things
going
have
to try
you
and,
got?
yeah, of course, he's not trying to force the point. Are you coming of age, old man?
Atonement.
Have you had your bar or bat mitzvah?
So atonement is if you change alignment.
It's a nook.
A nuke.
Bless water is pretty obvious. You
Right.
know, I can bless water.
Yep.
Dedication, if I touch one humanoid who wishes to be dedicated to your god's service for the next 24 hours.
Nope. Is it appropriate or inappropriately touching?
My god is appropriately.
Okay.
Funeral rites, investiture, but I don't, can't investiture you in the wedding. So
All right.
Cool. Good spell.
it does some pretty cool stuff.
Does.
So,
Takes a day to cast, right?
About now.
So you guys find yourself in this room with a worked tunnel. You can either move out. Obviously, there's the 2 stairways that go down as well. You see that the tunnel has a downward kind of trajectory, so it kind of twists and turns. And you can't see it, like it spins and spirals, and it sort of snakes,
Gotcha.
but it has a downward trajectory.
Just in the gap, you guys know a bat mitzvah is a girl's coming of age, where a bar mitzvah is a guy's coming of age, right? You know
No.
that.
I do, yes.
I've never heard.
So
of what?
a bat mitzvah, what do
I
they
thought
cut
you were
off?
making a-
No.
What do they cut off
I
on
thought-
a
Bar
bat mitzvah?
mitzvah for boys,
Yeah.
bat mitzvah is for girls.
Really?
Yes.
Never knew that. I
I'm
thought
like,
you were making a crude joke.
No, you were just showing your ignorance again.
I'm pretty ignorant. We've established this today.
Just today.
It's like nothing I said was inappropriate. It was just real.
What I don't know could fill a fucking ocean. As a matter of fact, many of them. All right, so where are you going?
Through the door?
Well, I think we should cover over this and secure ourselves from anything emerging, and then check the other door, make sure that there's nothing else out here. If there's no other ways forward, then this
There's
is a
no
way
other
forward.
door. Which door?
I thought you said there were 2 doors in the cauldron room.
No, two stairways going down.
Oh, well, then we should do the stairways rather than cramp ourselves into a roughly hewn tunnel, right?
Going down. Stairways going down.
Mhm.
Down.
Unless you're down there and then they're coming back up.
Down further into the...
And there's
We're higher than the entrance now.
Do I
Because
get
we're
any?
above it.
Can I have one of those mushrooms, please?
Yeah, man. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to? Is there any stone cutting checks I can make on this hole?
for what purpose?
I don't know.
It's roughly hewn.
That's why I was trying to. I don't know why it's roughly hewn.
No.
Everything else is well worked. That's why I was asking, can I make a stone cutting check?
It's ribbed on the inside for your pleasure, if that's useful. I'm suggesting, Nikron, that you might prefer a stairwell to this roughly hewn, not so comfortable
2 foot wide
tunnel.
Sure.
Oh, that's kicked in, has it?
Yeah.
Do you want one, Meridius? They're pretty
Right.
good.
Right. Good.
I'm flying, but my feet are on the ground.
Not even using my wing. Man.
Right. So follow along. Let's grab this table, put it upside down, and then put some things on top of that tunnel, that roughly hewn hole, so the things can't come
So
out.
you block up the hole.
Block it up,
Yep.
and then we head back
pretty
to the
hole.
stairwell.
Okay, so there are two stairwells that you can get into. One's on the left and one's on the east and the west.
We'll go
Sorry,
for the east.
the eastern side. And you start moving down the eastern
Come on.
side.
No, this way. Follow.
section.
I know you're holding the light, but try and put it in front of you and then follow the light.
Right on.
Follow the light.
It's good, isn't it, Birdman?
Who's going down first?
Meridius is in the lead,
With
continually turning around going this way.
I'd like to do a maturity check right now. When I'm the most mature person at the table, there's a real problem. It's a real problem. When I say who's going down first and you all giggle like we're in fucking high school.
Have you not listened to our podcast?
I even giggled when you said it the second time.
No.
Have you not listened to our podcast?
These TVs are here to entertain us. He said anus. Okay, so you move down the stairs into an area. The person who is in the lead, I'm not even going to say it. The person who is in the lead, which I'm assuming is Meridius at this point, moves into a corridor that has arrow slits moving to its. So as you walk down the steps, they're on your left-hand side. So there's arrow slits that go all the way down. Each one of these arrow slits, and there are 5 of them, has a ballista attached to them. The frontmost one, you can see, you kind of look over as you walk out, past the door to your right, by the way. But you walk out, and to the left is a ballista that looks out over an arrow slit over the entryway, over the external entryway.
Is it loaded?
The ballista, there's about 5 bolts, I think, that are sitting around or near there. So it's not loaded, because ballistas loaded would probably die under the pressure eventually. But there are 5 bolts for each one of these ballistas. You look to the south around the stairwell, and you can see this corridor moves down, and there are arrow slits that look over that entryway up the immediate stairs going to the doors that you couldn't get through. I'm sorry, you saw the portcullis. Do you remember the portcullis? And then there was a gap between the portcullis and the door. So those are the arrow slits that look into that, basically the murder chamber of any. And above that is where you can see the oil holes going into that area as well. And one of the arrow slits actually looks into the main chamber behind the doors as well. You can also see 2 arrow slits as you go down to the southernmost one, going to the eastern side as well, that are looking into a 5-foot corridor. And from the most southern one of those, you're looking through the arrow slits with your light, you can see a rough-hewn tunnel has been carved into the opposite wall.
Going upwards?
Looks like it.
Does it, Flint?
Yeah, man.
See that tunnel?
Yep.
Do you think it connects to the other tunnel?
I'm going to make a stone cutting check on that.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because you're looking through an arrow slit across it. So you'd have to go
in terms of geography, though,
into the area. Even looking at it, it's 2 foot wide.
Yeah,
what about
similar? Very similar.
It looks similar.
What about stone history? I get +6 on stone history.
Again, it's across a 5 foot wide corridor, and you're looking through an arrow slit.
All right. Well, if we're all fucking around, how heavy are these ballista, and can I exchange one for my javelins?
No,
Just the ballista, not the actual contraption, or you mean
I want to lift the whole thing up.
Oh, the whole thing, not
I
not
want
just
to carry it
the
like a
ammunition.
crossbow.
No, the ballista are far larger, and each one takes a platform and a wire. Like there's a winching,
crank.
there's a winching mechanism that you would need to reload it.
So
and
this
even
is seeming like a
moving it.
really good spot actually to bring the villagers, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
That's
very
a really good
defensible.
spot to bring a dragon.
Meridius, man.
Put the dragon in that hole. Chonk, chonk, chonk.
Meridius, man.
Yes, it's echoey in here.
Yeah, man. Why don't we, being that it takes a while to get here and we've cleared the entrance now that we've cleared these bits and we know the arrow slits are good.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, but let's...
Before we
put a
just
pin in
keep
that.
going on, why don't we just message, what is his name? Logan? Falcon?
Falcon.
Hawk?
Yes, Falcon.
Yeah, why don't we
Pigeon.
message them and say that, get the guys moving because it will take them a long time. There's so many of them, and we can keep clearing, and then they'll be here by the time we're done.
It's kind of at this moment you realise, how long's Flint been watching you guys that he knows you have sending stones to Falcon?
They told me.
The fact that he called him Logan like JR was the issue.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
Something's amiss.
Something is afoot.
how come
Yes.
you used
It's-
JR's baby's nickname?
His one side of his moustache has just fallen down and it's flapping over the top of his lips.
I thought they were already on the way.
No, man, you said you'd message him. This is what I've heard. That's what you told me. No, we said we'd give him a message.
They're waiting for
Right.
word
Well,
that you've cleared the place.
I think it wouldn't. Yes, of course, we can give them a report, but we haven't cleared anything yet. We have encountered a room full of spiders. It's been very difficult to overcome. Let's just ensure that this and the other side is clear, that they have somewhere to come to. They will arrive more quickly than we would want them to. And in fact, being in this place without them might be a lovely moment in time.
Right
Surely-
on. I'll go across here and commune with that stone and see what's going on over there then.
Great.
Okay.
Surely you could just leave them camp outside. Nothing bad would happen to them as there's a roaming dragon.
And you said there was a door as we walked into this
Yep.
corridor.
Yep, a door to your right. So directly down the stairs.
Yep.
So basically, if you go down the stairs, you turn to your left and there's a little chamber with the first ballista outside. And if you do a switch back, the chamber comes all the way down. But there is a door going to the right.
Just do a quick
immediately
perception
down
check
the
on that.
steps. Yep.
And then open it up.
Okay, you open the door and your torchlight, you have a torch in hand or is it a lantern?
Flunt has a torch.
Okay, your torchlight extends into a 5-foot corridor that heads southward.
That's a cupboard.
Yeah, it heads southwards.
All right, a fucking wide corridor heading southward.
Yeah.
Okay, let's step on into the corridor and move it on
Oh,
down.
do we have to? Do we?
You don't know. No one is forcing you to do anything, Nikrin, but drink some water.
Yeah, man, you need to build up a tolerance, man. Let me.
Really hungry.
Do you want a mushroom?
Sure.
Is this where the roughly hewn one is?
So you have to move about 50 foot down this corridor before, as you're walking to the south on the eastern side of the corridor, you can get to a roughly hewn 2 foot wide by about 5 foot tall. It looks like something has just sort of slowly kind of
Excavated.
dug it out.
Roughly hewn. Everything's roughly hewn.
Dug it out. No, the rest of this place is
perfect.
clean.
Oh, really?
It's
It just
dwarven
sounds
built.
like, seems like you said roughly hewn about 6 times already.
It's a roughly hewn description that I've created. It's not in my thesaurus. I haven't gotten to R yet.
Oh, because I thought it was a theme. I thought we were looking for something that is digging through these things. But so, yeah, I'm going to move down to... Flunt's going to move down to the roughly hewn section and have a little bit of a stone cutting.
Be careful of that corridor. It's coarsely finished.
Okay.
No, the corridor's beautiful. It's dwarven.
No, down the end, the tunnel, the 2 foot wide tunnel.
Man, you got to love these stone dudes. They're just real good at making stuff. 13 on stone history.
Something has tunneled through here, and the working of this is far newer than the tunnels that are surrounding it.
These ain't dwarfs.
No. Is there anything around to block that side of the tunnel in case it's in there? Because that, while these are beautifully perpendicular walls, that crudely grainy tunnel there is upsetting my sensibilities.
Why don't we just follow it, man?
No. There's plenty of dwarven areas to excavate first. If we block the corridors from all sides, then when we've got more reinforcements, we can excavate them out and see what's going on.
And this corridor you're standing in also moves south, and just on the edge of your torchlight, you can see it opens up into some type of room, but you can't see into the room.
On an assumption, do we think the western stairwell upstairs would go to a similar room overlooking that entranceway?
You can even see there's arrow
then
slits on the other
that's
side.
where I'm heading to. Like, are we connecting up to the other side of
You haven't gotten anything that goes west yet. So you're coming
right.
down the corridor.
I'm a little turned
this
around.
tunnel is on the eastern side, you have to get to a western door. So you have to move west to get to the other side. You're in the eastern side of the complex.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, I've got nothing here that we could block this up with, but I just feel like if we're wanting to clear it out, I mean, we could go check that out. Is there a door on that one at the end? That it just opens up onto the thing. There's no door there.
What are you talking about?
You said the tunnel continues on, and just on the edge of torchlight, it opens up.
Yep. But you can't see into the room.
But there's no door.
You can't see into the room.
But there's no door.
You can't see into the room. You would have to go down there to get that piece of information.
But there's no door between us and the room.
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that was painful. You can't see it through.
You can't see
it.
Yeah, but I wanted to know if I couldn't see in the room because there's a fucking door
the
there.
corridor opens up into a room. It's on the edge of your torchlight. You can't see in.
Moradius
If there
heads
was a
down.
door, I would have described it.
Moradius heads down with his torch, going, "If you two can try and find something to block up this side of that hole,
Sure.
I'll check out what's down here."
I mean, we're an empty corridor. There's nothing here.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can see into the room without a door.
I have dark vision.
You move.
I know.
You move southerly down the tunnel till your light sort of opens up into what that opening is. There is indeed a door that goes west, a double door, a large, ornate stone with a bit of reinforced metal double door. There's another door to the south, but as you look into this tunnel as well, you're looking to the east of this tunnel and you can see some type of collapse has opened up some caverns to the east where some rough hewn stone. No, it's not even hewn. There's something in the past. You can see rubble all over the floor. It's like parts of the wall has caved in, and behind the wall were some natural caverns that have been opened up towards the east. And there's a cavern or tunnels that almost go north and south from here as well. And then there's a door to the south. So to get this right, there's a double doors to the west, door to the south, tunnels on the other side that go north, to the east that go north and south. Just give me a perception check as well.
Just all of us, or
no, just Moradius.
Just to be clear with you, Justin, the map is too complicated to keep in my head, so I'm going to need to keep.
Yep,
it's just a load of roughly hewn rock. I wouldn't really.
There is a marvelous unfinished section where the finished has been eroded away and it looks like natural caverns.
But you can't see it because you can't see in the room yet.
Well, unless there's a door.
You're the only one there, Brett, because you left the other guys.
Well, he doesn't have a torch.
Look and I were having a moment. We were really enjoying that. We really
I felt bullied.
That's why it was so fun.
I felt triggered. I felt excluded.
You want a perception?
Yeah, just a perception check.
You might as well do it with disadvantage because you can't see because I got the torch, so I'm not there apparently.
You can't see in the room anyway.
15.
On a 15 check, there is a nasty smell just on the edge. You know, like when you walk into a room and there's like the
you want to use
very
the word dank now,
faintness of a very it's like a rotting smell almost, but it's even worse than that. It's like imagine rotting eggs and mildew,
like old destroyed prawn spiders.
Yeah, yes, very much like that. Like imagine a prawn trawler that has been left in the sun for 6 days unattended. It smells like that.
Okay.
Like it's pretty rotten.
But I can't get to the nice doors unless I can walk into the stank.
No. Well, the doors are immediately to your. So as you're walking, they're immediately to the west.
Do I feel like the stank's coming from the unfinished area?
Yeah, from the unfinished area.
Okay. So he'll check the nice double doors, the ornate doors.
Yep.
And then open them. I'm only telling you if my perception check gets above 10. All right. 15.
Okay.
Flunt's going to walk down and join Moradius.
Couldn't nothing.
No, there's nothing right away, man.
Just keep an eye on the back then as we go.
Come on, bird boy.
No, Cred.
Yep.
This way.
Yep. Have you ever? Nothing.
You looked into my eyes for a long, long time then, Nykrin. I didn't mind it.
I didn't want to be blue.
What colour did you want to be?
I wanted to be green.
But that's a whole different kind of
You know, man,
Arakukra, isn't it?
you could put we could paint you yellow
Yellow.
because yellow and blue makes green.
Come on, let's talk and walk. as we open the door.
You open the door into what is essentially a large hall. This great hall has a 40-foot high ceiling, larger than any other place that you've seen in here, supported by 4 thick stone pillars, almost in the corners. The thick layer of dust covers the flagstone floor. In the middle of each wall past the entrance is a double door. So you can see around the corner is the entrance. You can see a southern double doors. You can see western double doors and the eastern ones that you are facing. It's a rectangular room. And it is in keeping with maybe the heart of this complex, which is symmetrical so far as you can see. You can see up high on the northern wall, there's like a small kind of wall with arrow slits that point to it. And even as you're looking from here, you can connect those arrow slits. That might be the other side of the arrow slits from upstairs where you fought the spiders.
Yep. So there's also murder holes into the... Oh, hang on a second. Dibs for my bedroom. Murder holes into the grand viewing room.
That's right. And you're looking up from where you are and you can't really, you notice that there is one difference that directly above you, the wall where on the other side it's a flat wall that's ornately carved. There's beautiful dwarven carvings through here. But above you, the area kind of juts out a little bit more, but you can't see it from your vantage.
Oh. There's a protrusion there.
A protrusion.
Sounds like maybe it's blown a seal or something up there.
It's just ice cream on its chin.
Right. We're right to head on in. It looks like there's no cobwebs or anything in this room. It's just dusty, right? Furniture in the room?
No.
Does my dark vision push any further than the torchlight?
How far is your dark vision?
60 feet.
60 feet. It does. Very much does.
Do I see anything else?
No.
Can't see into the room.
Does it look like the sconces have burnt themselves out in this room as well?
Yep. Yeah. Through this entire complex, you haven't seen a sconce that is in working order.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've all just looked like they've eroded over time.
They were left on.
Yeah. And burnt out. Yep.
Nikron.
Yep.
Can you carry this torch, please?
Sure.
Oh my God. I've had some of those conversations with my wife before.
I'm going to start kind of like just checking around a bit more out of the torchlight with dark vision, seeing if I can see anything further.
Double doors coming in. Sorry, tell me again the exits out of this room if we've come in the grand entrance.
So as you're going into this room, in ancient sort of castle terms, you would know this as a mustering hall. So if it was a proper castle keep, you would come through the murder channel, through the portcullis, through the gates, and there would be a mustering section where, the king says goodbye to the peasants and then walks out. This is the dwarven version of that, you would think.
Okay. So meant to be clear, not a hallway. This is meant to be cleared for multiple people to congregate and then leave
congregate. And that becomes apparent as you walk into the room a little bit more and you look backwards above the door that you came in, where you can see a platform. I'm not sure exactly how to. It's a balcony, I guess, a stone balcony which protrudes from the wall above. That's about 20 foot above the floor, where somebody might stand there to address an audience or a large gathering, like a place where a parade or something like that might have taken place.
With the acoustics in here and that platform, JR would have loved to have been up there.
Yeah. It's got a very small balcony because it's dwarves. So
JR was like, Murray's just having a moment because he can absolutely imagine JR up there giving a beautiful speech, telling people a wonderful story, rousing the troops and sending them on their right way. That would be something he'd be very good at. A little pebble rolling down his cheek as he moves on down the corridor.
And pebble. And you can see, even at the back of that balcony, you can see two doors.
Okay.
So that's how you would get. Yeah.
And
but from upstairs, you'd have to find where upstairs.
Yeah, okay.
There are so many doors.
Yes.
My theory, being that they're all closed, is whatever's here is the one is using the rough-hewn tunnels. I think opening doors is going to waste time. I think we need to go down the rough-hewn tunnels or in the cavern.
But remembering,
As a dwarf,
yes,
that's my theory.
I think that's a very good point. But remembering the people that are coming here are looking for somewhere to live.
Yes, and if there's something that killed all the things here, they were also looking for something to live.
Yes, but let's ensure that there's somewhere for the people to go, because if that's not apparent, then there's no reason to clear it out.
That'll be fine.
I mean,
You right?
That was just fun.
Yeah.
we found plenty of place.
Maradius. Sorry, that's me.
Have you all had the mushrooms? I can catch my own hand.
Nigrin, you've got that spark spell still going on your finger. Just constant flame from your index finger. Be careful.
It's all good.
Meridius,
Yes.
this place is safe. I mean, it's not safe yet, but we can tell there's places for them to hunker down. There's
Right.
plenty of rooms. I think we need to find out what killed all the dwarves so we can stop that.
I think you're right. I hope you're right, but I haven't found those rooms yet. We found 2 rooms.
What rooms are you after?
Well, the town has some number of people in it. They can't live in this room, and this is the only habitable space so far.
Stone cunning to figure out where the habitable spaces are and how to get there.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's not going to give you any answers.
Hurry it on.
All right, so we move.
Explore the place is the only way you're going to find that. So
Let's
from this room, you have the doors to the north, the doors to the south, and the doors to the west. The doors to the north are the 2 main doors to get into the actual complex.
Yeah,
Beyond them is the portcullis.
yeah.
And then there's 2 double doors to the south. There's double doors to the south, double doors to the west.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a thing. I'm going to go open those doors so that if someone comes to the portcullis, they might be able to mage hand their way through. So open the front doors so that can be
Front doors are locked. So
locked.
you're looking at them and you're like, oh, this is going to take a while. So if you're hoping to get through the double doors, it might take a while for you. You might essentially, you can't figure out how to open them.
Okay, which is going to be
Stone
a
cunning?
challenge to get the people in.
You can knock them down,
Right.
but you think it's going
They
to
just get back up again.
take a while. Like you're either going to have to spend a long time figuring out the mechanism to open
Yep,
the doors,
I
or you're
understand.
going to spend a long
Right.
time knocking
This
them down.
one not now. Let's move into the mustering hall and go out the. So we came in the. Sorry, which door?
Eastern door?
We came in the east. Let's check the door to the south.
To the south. Perfect.
So,
I was just doing narrate so with wheat picks in my head to
Cool.
where we were.
Would it help if I drew it on a piece of paper?
yeah.
No. Tell us what you really think, Luke.
There. I mean, in
I
old
want it to
D&D,
be,
in old
yellow.
D&D, one of you people could have.
What do you mean, you people?
Could have been mapping this and getting it wrong, like we did in the old school, in the old days of D&D. We would have our graph paper, and the GM would describe it, and we would mark it down, and then
completely wrong.
"What? Where you joining up? No, that doesn't join with that. Oh, where did you go? No, that's not the way."
Chinese whispers mapping.
Yeah, it really is like Chinese whispers whapping. You'll need a bucket and a mop.
Oh, yoy.
So you move to the southern doors. You open those, moving in.
Perception check first.
Yep.
A 20.
You find no traps.
And I open it up.
You open this into a corridor that is 15 foot wide and 20 foot before another set of double doors is there. But there are 4 arrow slits, one on the eastern wall and one on the western wall.
Got it.
There is another door to the south, or a set of double doors to the south.
So there's a corridor with a door at the end of it.
Yeah, the 15 foot wide. Another murder chamber, you would
Yeah.
think.
So we're going to walk down, quickly look at this arrow slits and open the next door.
Again, on each one of the arrow slits, you see ballista.
Oh, okay.
So on
looking
each
into
side.
both the entryway and the muster hall.
No, just into this little
Into the-
corridor, just this one corridor. So this corridor is 15. You're standing at a set of double doors, looking forwards.
Yeah.
You can see 2 arrow slits on your left, 2
Yeah.
arrow slits on your right,
Yeah.
and 2 doors in front of you. The corridor is literally 15 foot wide, and the other doors are 20 foot in front of you.
Yeah, and the arrow slits are overseeing. If I look out the arrow slits on the left, what am I looking at?
into another room where arrow slits live, like into
What the fuck is this map?
it's a murder. So essentially,
so if I walk through this corridor, then I could get murdered through the arrow slits on the other head.
Yes.
Right. So the ballista pointing towards us.
You're looking at the murder end of the arrow
We're
slit.
at the pointy end of the ballista.
I see what you're doing. Where that's wrong. Yes, you're looking at the murder end. This is another murder chamber.
Okay, gotcha. Yep, and down the end of this corridor, then so murder comes at us from both sides to the end of the corridor. Check the door. Open the door. And the door opens.
It's just double doors.
A push.
Make a perception change. Make a perception check.
18.
Again, you smell that same stench, but it's heavier. And it seems to be emanating from the other sides of these doors.
This corridor is hops forward.
Can I make a knowledge scent check?
Mm-mm.
A knowledge scent check. Love it. Smelling musky.
Let's go backwards, back into the muster hall and try the door to the north.
The north.
Yep.
The door you haven't done is the western door. The north door is the main ones.
Fucking hell. I swear you said there's a
You're
door
on
to
the
the
eastern
north.
side.
Yep.
And you think that the middle chamber, north and south of where you are, is the very center of the building. You haven't done the western side.
Let's go through the western door.
Is there a doorway that needs to be opened?
Mm-hmm.
Nikon's going to open it. Nikon's just going to like stumble up there, tripping balls, and just go, ooh, doorknob. And push it.
Okay. Make a perception check as you push these doors open.
16. Do you want disadvantage because I'm high?
No, I don't.
All right.
It's an interesting thing that you say you're high because sobriety hits you like a slap in the face as the stench of death wafts over you as you open this door. Beyond the door, you see that it is strewn with bits of armor, gnawed bones of dead dwarves who are all over the floor. You can see just carnage, old carnage, like, you know, they're whitened bones. There's no flesh on any of them. They're not desiccated. And over the top of them, just gnawing on these desiccated bones, you can see these other dwarves, but they look bizarre. Before you stands like a ghost, a ghastly figure that was once a dwarf, but now their bodies seem twisted and nightmarish. The semblance of its former self. Sickly pale skin clings tightly to its emaciated limbs as it struggles to contain the malevolent energy within. Its sunken eyes kind of turn and burn with an otherworldly and an unsettling light, casting small pinpricks of eerie glows in the darkness. Strands of greasy hair hang over their decaying face, and big clumps of hair have fallen out of their dwarven beards, framing features that have contorted into a grotesque mask. You can see, you know, one of them's nose has elongated into a hook appendage while its lips have been peeled away. A sinister grin kind of looks at you as they put down their clawed hands, which are holding bones, looking at you with malice in their eyes. You can see that the dwarves in this room are no longer actual dwarves, but there's something from beyond death, and they look at you with chilling embodiment of both physical deterioration and some kind of malefic curse. I've been reading a thesaurus.
Surrender now. We've come to reclaim the dwarven keep in the name of dwarf. Surrender now or die.
Or die?
Yeah, I assumed you were going to kill him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your paladin's god?
Grundenar.
God of friendship and peace.
Yeah. Die in a
I think you'll find, actually, sobriety is not hit.
You can't kill what's already dead. But yes, that's me doing my peaceful chat.
carry on as you're listening to the guy who's not there. Because this is.
Are we going into range?
Remember, he stumbled away from you guys and just opened the door. So there are 3 creatures in this room.
How far are they away from me?
there. Can I ask you, out of character from now on, instead of asking me how far things are away, telling me what your intent is and
so
seeing
if they're within a 20-foot range of each other, I'm just going to fireball the fucking lot of them.
Okay. Yep, they're definitely all within 20 foot
Okay,
radius of
so
you.
I will.
Right.
Have I got the slots left?
So before we start anything like that, are you initiating a combat, Luke? Is that what you're telling me?
Because I just got to figure something out. Because I no longer have any spell slots at level 3.
While he's working out, so you guys just see Nikron kind of stumble off into the dark. You've got the torch at this point in time, but he stumbles off to sort of to that western door and just goes boom and opens it. Even from here, this rush of odor flies through the room as you see him sort of pause for a second as he's taken aback by maybe seeing something that you think he shouldn't have seen. Or, you know, when you walk into a room, you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. And he pauses, you see that birdie language on him.
Birdie language.
Yeah.
Okay. As I do not any longer have the spell slots required, and I don't have enough sorcery points to open up another 3rd level spell slot, I'm just going to level 2 a burning hands.
Before we initiate combat, there's something we have to do though, and that is an initiative. Are you saying anything that would elude your companions to what you may have perceived beyond the door?
Oh dear.
Okay, what'd you get for your initiative?
I got a where are we? 14.
You definitely go first.
I am tripping balls here.
Yeah.
I'm still high as. Is there anything that's keeping me
You're
relatively
only high on the grace of Grundenar.
Yeah. And Gundunar's grace. Grundunar's great gun. His grace.
Gungan? Nisa, no.
No. Boss nos.
You definitely go first.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to do a level 2 burning hands. I'm going to clap my hands together, outstretch them.
Is that only 15 feet?
It is 15 feet.
From here. So even from where you are, like you could definitely have gotten a fireball with all 3 of them, but they're further into the chamber than a burning hand. So you would have to move into the chamber at least 15 feet before you get them into the center.
Can I retrospectively do that?
So if you, yeah, of course. So you're acting first. So,
so
essentially where I've gotten is that you've opened the door,
Yep.
seen this site before you, decided to engage in combat.
Yep.
Initiative has begun. To
Yep.
give you an idea of the room, Luke, it's 15 foot wide. It opens up
Perfect.
a little bit further and there's a corridor leading north.
Okay.
But these ghouls are about 40 feet of about the 70 foot length of this kind of chamber.
Cool, love it. So I wander in 15 feet and say, well, let's get the party started, guys. And that is not bad. You're going to have to roll a dex save for 14 to see if they get half damage.
14?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget to move back out.
Okay, that one was a 20. That is an 11, and that is a 5.
Okay, so it is numbers.
It's only your character that's stoned. Is it?
Is it? 21 points of fire damage.
Just checking this hemp.
Okay, so there's
IPA.
one of them.
I'm method acting, shut up.
One of them passed and 2 of them failed. So what is it?
21 points of damage or 10, I guess.
Okay, 21 or 10.
And then I'll stumble backwards. Obviously, the illumination from that, you're all going to see that way in the dark space of red.
Why are you letting off fireballs in a safe corridor like that?
Very unhappy tenants. Tenants? Yeah,
Right.
that's what they are.
I'm gonna-
Ghoulish, you might say.
I'll come and have a look.
They might be a bit crispy now.
Were you trying to get those spider prawn things going?
I am feeling quite peckish.
I feel like that was like a bazinga moment.
That said, though, because you've only moved that 15 feet.
And I went out again. I went in,
Yep.
cast, and out,
Yep.
in, out, shake it all about.
Yep. These creatures, and they shuffle towards you with an uncanny normal speed.
Uncanny normal speed.
Uncanny normal speed.
Love it. More of that, please.
A roughly hewn normal speed.
and they attempt to claw you.
Oh. You get a +1 to dex because you've loosened this.
Natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
Don't worry about it.
An 8.
No.
And a 19.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
He's the most casual and relaxed that I have ever seen.
Two
him.
mushrooms
He's
in, baby.
ever
Let's go.
seen.
Not even looking up to see if he can fly away.
Oh, that's the wrong damage.
Good run, dinner.
Gun, grundina.
The first attack, which was the critical, you take 8 points of slashing damage, and I need a Constitution save from you, please.
Oh, there we go. Hang on. So, how much damage?
8 points.
8. Oh, that keyboard doesn't work, does it? Why don't you give us my keyboard? Oh, it's there. Oh, sorry, Justin. Just give me a second. I'm just. Show me the keyboard. Right. 8 damage. And Constitution?
A Constitution stave, please.
Stave. I stave the Constitution.
You do want to stave off something.
And I got a 23 on my Constitution.
Okay,
save.
perfect. So that is enough that you are not affected by a weird sickness. Like imagine being clawed by something that's got like disgusting.
Septic.
Is that septic under like a Komodo dragon? You know how they kill people not by actually biting them, but by dying. Right. The second attack missed, but the third attack rang true.
Yep.
You take another 7 points of damage, and that's not even a critical by there. But I also need another Constitution.
Another con save. Do I not get the save for that when we get a 21?
That's perfect. At this point, the people in the other room, you see Nicron disappear, a flash of light from the other room. He moves back into vision, followed by 3 of the dwarven creatures that I described previously. Would you like the whole description before? Because it's a long one.
No.
But these emaciated, undead dwarven creatures. Can I have initiatives, please? Flint
5
and Maradius
9.
A 9. Nicron, it is your go again. You have 3 creatures that are in your grill.
In my grill.
Looking hungry.
Right up in front of me.
Looking hungry at you.
Hungry hippos. All right, let's just do another Dex 14. I'll give them another burning hands.
Mm-hmm.
Clap my hands together.
Tell me about casting something while someone's within 5 foot of you.
Oh, they're literally right in front of me. Oh, okay. Well,
It's not an attack of opportunity unless it rolls. He has to roll an attack roll, which he doesn't.
Which I don't.
Your voice sounded very different.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, well, I'm tripping. So.
Well, I know he didn't read the rule book. So.
Why should I when you're here? Okay, so let's go Hare Krishna and just, clappy clappy. Yeah, that one wasn't as good. 13 points of damage. DC 14 dex save.
Okay. And
14 or 7.
14 or 7?
Yep.
All 3 of them burn to the ground.
Yeah.
They fall down in a clumped mess of burning.
Success.
What's going on, man?
I just...
Did you just kill dwarves?
Well, no, they weren't dwarves. They were...
Dude.
I know, they had a real bad vibe.
I mean, you shouldn't kill...
I think
Especially not dwarves.
They were already dead.
I mean, that's okay then.
But aren't we all
No.
already dead?
No.
I'm sure I read that somewhere.
Excuse me while I just check out what's in that room and make sure it's real. And then Maradius is going to move past the two of you having a chat about what could be a mushroom
see 3
hallucination.
burnt corpses on the floor.
And then he kind of pulls himself back up short, thinking this was all bullshit.
Necrotic
Oh, my
dwarves.
dear. Oh.
That stink of death.
And he'll do a...
And decay. And it's that smell. You like, even
That's
though now
the
it's
smell. This is
acrid because it's cooked and you're a little hungry, but, well, Nicron's starved at this point. It smells like off bacon. But that smell.
Off bacon. Nice.
Is there a insight check you can make to know what these creatures are and what
it's an undead roll, so you'd have to give me a religion, I believe.
Oh, man.
Undead roll.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay, no, some kind of undead.
Do you want me to...
Do you know what these are?
Let me have a look.
Sorry, insight. Did you say? Sorry,
Insight.
religion. Oh, I
Wasn't
got a
it?
little bit.
Did you say religion?
I got
Yeah,
a bit of
religion.
religion.
Insight.
15.
Religion.
Yeah, 14. Okay.
Mm. You think it might be a ghoul?
These are ghouls. Good job, man. Even I don't parlay with ghouls. It's just a...
Right.
That's some really bad halitosis.
You can't not kill a ghoul because they're already dead, as
That's
you
what I
said.
figured.
Yeah.
They're dead already, right?
Like, there's no knocking them out and being friends with them.
And those other ones in there that aren't alive, would they have been pre-ghouls, post-ghouls? Have they been ghouls? And then tell me what's happened in this room.
It's
Perception
skeleton.
check or
It's
something.
parts of bones, skeletons on the
Right.
floor.
I'd assume-
Like not even intact skeletons there.
Yeah.
They've all got bite marks on them. That like the marrow's been sucked out of them. There's just bones littered on the floor.
For how long
And
ago they look like?
broken bits of armor.
Right.
It's
It's not great. This is not good.
a long time.
These guys would have turned ghouls if they weren't either already dead or got eaten first.
And does it look like their fingers have dug through roughly hewn stone?
You cannot tell.
Okay.
You cannot tell. What you do know from here is, much like the corridor that was on the eastern side, there is like a 5 foot wide. You know the one where the roughly hewn stone was. Its mirror is on this side, thinking that if you go up to that, you'll most likely get to those arrow slits where the stairs would go back upwards.
Got you.
But from this, it's a little bit different because the most western side is intact, unlike the most eastern side on the other side, which has collapsed. You can see there in this chamber, there are 4 doors that you could go to, one directly to the south, one directly to the west, one that goes to the north sort of, and then there's one to the west up the corridor a little bit where the...
Right.
18 on an investigation around the room to see if there's anything...
Yeah.
Useful.
Just a proper check
Yeah,
through.
you start picking through the bits. You can see most of whatever armor has been here has been ripped and torn apart. The leathers that held them together have been chewed and gnawed, rending the bits of armor. Not used. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would have to make them usable. You could melt them down and reforge something, but in this state, no.
So I reckon we go through this tunnel. So actually, no, you confirm this roughly hewn tunnel reconnects, right?
Not roughly hewn. That's on the other side. I was giving you that as a comparison.
I reckon we go through this tunnel
Yep.
and check that before we open any more doors.
Yep. So
Okay.
you walk up the corridor.
Let's gather together.
Yep. You walk up to the corridor, which goes north. You open the doors and you see the mirror of the room with the ballistas in when you
Yep.
came down the stairs.
Yep.
And you can go back and there are a couple of other doors that you can explore.
Right.
You can go, or you can go
7
into
points
that
of
room.
healing
7.
to Nikron as I cast a cure light wounds.
Right. So, no murder in here though. Pretty crisp.
Mhm.
So let's move it on through. Keep working our way through, but let's stay close together and keep ourselves in each other's sights this time. Nikron, this way. Nikron.
Yep.
Nikron,
Yep.
this way.
Okay.
And move it on through.
Okay. You got 2 doors on the western side, a northern door and a southern door.
Let's try the 2 on the western side. First one on the west.
Okay, the first one on the western side, you open it up in the fashion by which I'm assuming you do all of your doors, with Maradius going first, doing a perception check.
11.
You don't find any traps on here, but you do notice that this door in particular has much more banding, much more reinforcement. Than the other doors in place. And as you open it up, you see a 10-foot kind of cupboard that extends a little bit down. And within this cupboard, you can see what was probably an armory, but all that remains now is some stone weapon racks, some wooden mannequins which have fallen into a bit of disrepair, that upon which once armor might have hung, some iron hooks on the wall, which might have bore some shields and some weapons and stuff, but the whole thing is empty.
Doesn't look like it's worth investigating. Nothing there to kind of check through, or is it worth taking a moment to push through that.
Or
room.
you can see the mannequins and the racks and the hooks. You can't see anything.
Can't see anything in the room worth investigating, or can't see anything because of the mannequins.
No,
and the
that's all
racks.
you see in the room.
Right. So this looks empty. Let's move it on to the second door on the west.
Yep. Let's do it.
Nikrin,
Yep.
here, mate.
I want it.
Here,
I want
here,
it.
here.
Yep.
Do you want to hold on to my sash and just follow along?
I beg your pardon.
Second door on the west.
You move to the second door on the west.
10 perception.
A 10 perception. You open it with ease. This door looks well used. It's barely reinforced at all. Beyond there, the door immediately you see a tattered wool curtain that even through the tatters conceal 3 very neglected privies, each with a wooden bench that
Anyone?
is sat on the floor.
Anyone? While we're here,
Yep.
use it or lose it.
Escape.
All right. Moving to the
North or
northern
south?
door.
Okay.
22
Mm-hmm.
perception. Open.
You open the door. This chamber is quite a lot larger than anything. Well, not anything you've seen before, but it's akin to that open area in the middle. It's quite big, and there's some large hearths that sit in the middle of it. You think that from looking at the cots that lie scattered about the floor and the way the fireplaces are done, that this was a barracks room.
Barracks. Worth checking later, but this is where the people could go.
Yeah.
Good call there, Flint. It's not often I find myself agreeing with you, but here's one of them. Take note. And then move back into the corridor for the southern door.
So you move into
There's exits and entrance from the barracks.
No, just that one door.
Yeah.
That you came
So
through.
we won't do. There's nothing in there that we can see on a kind of quick glance.
No, and even then, the
And the
cots
smell?
are scattered around. No smell in this place. Just
Right.
the smell of mustiness from it being
Yeah.
enclosed for a period of time.
Southern door. Any other suggestions here? Nikrin.
I'm still here.
Great.
I'm still here. I'm getting a little jittery now.
Okay.
I need another shroom.
You open the southern door into a room that is dominated by 2 rusty anvils that sit in front of 2 hearths in the most western walls moving into the mountain. You can see that in this was a smithy or a smithy area. There is a door that is in the southern eastern wall though of this room.
Should we move through?
Yep.
Sure.
Southern eastern wall. Let's go.
Everyone make a perception as you move through.
19.
14.
10.
Oh, you each hear, just very dimly at first, from coming from one of the hearths, just a kind of sound, and that sound gets louder and louder and louder, and eventually you see a flying creature coming out of the hearth,
I always
which
get really
we'll discuss next time.
Oh,
I always get
Is it
really
big,
nervous
small?
when Justin makes noises because half the time they don't sound like anything like what they're meant to.
What do you mean? It's a fantasy world. What's a manticore supposed to sound like?
oh, is it a manicore?
Can I just say also, in my defense, you fucking describe that. It's a fucking warren of ill
Sorry, I was
proportions.
just trying to rationalise how